Hi everybody, it is Julie. Welcome back to Nobody's Beauty Guru. Today I am here with an update video for you, but of a different kind. Today I am here with my collection numbers update. I meant to do this halfway through the year. We are now looking at August 15th, so we're past the halfway mark, but I wanted to check in on my numbers because I did an inventory at the beginning of the year. I want to do one now before we do another one at the end of the year. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my computer open and I have my spreadsheet so I can compare my numbers. Actually, when I finished with my inventory series, it was March. So March to August is still 6 months. We have a March number, an August number, and then I'll still do one hopefully at the beginning of the new year and continue with this progress. At the beginning of the year, or when I first did my numbers in March, I had 9 face primers. I right now have 9 as well. I have moved some in and out, but I have 9 still. I didn't actually catalog everything. I found a couple like after the fact because I know I've been using primers and I think I just didn't have an accurate number at the beginning, but now I'm dead accurate. Foundations, I had 7. I now have 4. Only purchased 1 foundation this entire year, but I've definitely worked through a whole bunch. Concealers, I had 9 total before, now I have 6 total. I went from 1 liquid concealer to 1 liquid concealer, and then for potted concealers, I had 8, now I have 5. That is a product of decluttering as opposed to using. I realized they were going to go bad, so I got rid of a lot of them that didn't really match me well. Down 3 there. For powders, I had 11 total, now I also have 11 total. So for pressed powders, I went from 4 to 6 because used one up entirely, but I bought the Ambient Lighting Trio palette from Hourglass, so I added 3 with that palette, so I went up 2 in that category. And then for loose powders, I've gone down 2 loose powders, still going down except for the one product I brought in that moved me back up, so I'm the same for that category. Setting sprays, I went from 3 to 1. I currently only have my NYX Dewy Setting Spray. For blushes, I had 27 total, now I'm down to 19, so I am down 8 blushes. Some of that's a product of decluttering. I used up my Stila Convertible Color and I brought in a Bite Beauty multi-stick. Still the same for cream shadows. And my powder blushes went down from 25 to 17. I went down 8 in that category, and that's just decluttering. Bronzers, I went from 15 to 13, down 2 for the overall category. That's a mixture of single bronzers and also in like palettes and such. 15 down to 13, so down 2. Highlights, I went from 37 to 29, so I am down 8 highlighters. For cream and liquid highlighters, I went from 8 to 7, which I'm going to correct right now. It's going to be 6. I'm decluttering Spoon from ColourPop after I finished my Mission Impossible, so that's another one down. But I finished another one of my Becca Illuminators, which I do count with my cream highlighters. So cream and liquid highlighters went from 8 to 6, down 2. My powder highlighters went from 8 to 7, down 1. And that was a declutter because it was a color that did not match me. It was the Cindy Luminizer. And then in palettes, I went from 21 to 15, down 6, because I decluttered some palettes that had highlighters in them that were not shades that worked for me. For eyeshadow palettes, I had 22 total. I'm down to 15, which is 7 down from the March to August. Drugstore, I went from 10 to 6, down 4. That's a product of decluttering. None of these were fully used up. These were all declutters. High-end went from 12 to 9, down 3. Again, product of decluttering. Single eyeshadows, I went from 144 to 125, down 19, and this is in categories. So depotted or packaged. So singles, whether that's depotted or just in a single packaging, I went from 107 to 89, down 18 in that category. That is a product of decluttering colors that I did not like anymore or formulations that I did not like. I have not finished any shadows completely. And then for cream eyeshadows, mainly ColourPop, I finished 1 and I decluttered 1. So we're down from 21 to 19, down 2 there. And then I went up 1 in pigments and loose shadows because I bought the set of Wet n Wild loose pigments, even though I decluttered some. So that's why we're at 19. I went down in every category but the loose pigments. Lip products, we went from 54 to 39, down a total of 15 lip products. In lipstick bullets, I went from 9 to 4, down 5, again, a product of decluttering. And for liquid lipsticks, I went from 18 to 20. I brought in a Kat Von D limited edition and another Wet n Wild. I used one and then I brought in 2 Wet n Wild. Sample sizes, I went from 7 to 4. That is a product of using up and also decluttering. And then for long bullet and pencils, I went from 9 to 4. That's also a product of using them up. I used up 2 of the Bite Beauty pencils. I used up a ColourPop pencil, lippy stick. So that's a product of using up and decluttering. So I went down 5 there. Chapsticks, I went from 11 to 7. That is a product of use. So I went down in that category overall. Eyeliners, I went from 26 to 20. That's a product of using and decluttering. Sample sizes, I went from 7 to 5, down 2. Full sizes, 10 to 8, down 2. And jumbo pencils, 9 to 7, down 2. That may also change as I declutter more of those. Mascaras, I went from 16 to 6, down 10. And full sizes went from 7 to 3, down 4. That's a product of use. Sample sizes went from 9 to 3, also a product of use. So down a lot in that category, but I've been really trying to just rotate those through. Some of them have been in my collection, and when I opened them, they were pretty dried out. They didn't last that long. One of them had to be decluttered due to allergy-induced pink eye. Just working through those samples. Brows, we went from 10 to 8, down 2 for that category. The gels stayed at 4 because I have repurchased my e.l.f. brow gels. And the pencils went from 6 to 4, down 2, again from use. But I also repurchased 2, so it would have been less if I hadn't repurchased already. Total products is 382 in March to 291 total now. Down 91 products, and that is from use and from decluttering. I'm going to continue to declutter. I'm going to continue to get rid of things because I need to get this down to what I'm really truly happy using, and I'm noticing through panning I'm finding a lot that I don't really love. We're going to continue to see how I progress through the end of the last part of this year, and I will update you guys with new numbers at the beginning of next year. That's been my 6-month check-in for my collection numbers. I hope you guys have found this interesting, that this is valuable to you. If you have any questions about my numbers, how I went down, what I decluttered, you can check out my declutter series. I will have that linked right up above. But if you have any specific questions, go ahead and be sure to ask. Projecting is hurting, so I'm going to wrap this one up. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye, guys.